It's Monday night, it's RaceSpotTV. We are live once again for round number 10 of the best open wheel racing series on a Monday night. Rachel Wyford joined today by Ryan Walker, and we're here at Circuit Park Zolder in Belgium for what is expected to be, Ryan, a fantastic race. We've got some tight times on the qualifying order, and this is the street track that isn't. It's going to be great.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and quite looking forward to commentating on this track. It's one of my favourites in the iRacing service, and the Monday Night Skippys has been producing great racing this season, and I think tonight it's going to be no exception.
Absolutely, and with that, we have qualifying coming to an end out here on the track. We're going to hit you up with the running order for tonight's race, and it is a flip at the top. For once, Benny Simonson not on pole. In fact, he is out on track, so it could still change, but we're looking at Leah Hughes, Benny Simonson, Simon Edwards, Anthony Catt, Tom Bridle there in 5th place with Anthony P.M. Jones, Nicholas Vaughan-Roberts, Lee Anderson, Matt Cox, and Clark Williams there in 10th. Behind them, of course, it is going to be Mark Darlin, Daniel Tufts, Ben Evans, Mark Booker, Seth Brown, they just changed around, Adam Miles, Mark Booker, Seth Brown, Andrew Baranowski and Seymour Harding with Simon Maltby in 20th. Rest of those results up on your screen right now as Ryan, we're running tonight for 14 laps around this racetrack. And looking at the weather today, it's about 26 degrees Celsius in the air. Track is just a bit warmer at 30, about 10 a.m. in the morning local time. So it's going to be a fairly cool track to air difference, should be good for the racing. Winds about 5-6 miles an hour from the south. Pretty contained track here, should be no impact. Looking like it's going to be a great one.
Yeah, it should be, and Zolder in the past has produced great racing in the Monday Night Skippies, and also with the two chicanes, it can cause a bit of a bottleneck effect with loads of cars on track, so that's one thing that these drivers are going to have to be very wary of.
Absolutely, of course. Kleiner and Villeneuve, the two chicanes here on the track, will definitely be a real contention point, I think, tonight is probably the best way to put it. It's always been a tricky spot. Kleiner, of course, the first chicane, very, very tricky. It's a very tight entry. Those sausage curves will kick the cars up and around, can definitely cause some problems for your drivers. But we're going to be going through it any second. It's him on the grid for the first time in that pole position this season. Before we see how it goes, Benny, it's just stop. It's the fight for second between Leah and Simon, and they're both looking equally strong, although Simon Edwards has had the worst luck this season.
Yeah, Simon Edwards, one of the quickest drivers on this car and in the series. He's, like you mentioned, he's not had the luck, and Benny Simonson seems to be pretty much the man on form this season. But Leah Hughes is not always one to count out of winning a race, so keep an eye on him.
Absolutely, and anything can happen on a track like Zolder. If it was a normal track, we'd say it's probably a good Benny place. But anything can happen in the tight, twisty, almost street track confines of Zolder. And I call it a street track because it shares a lot of the same similarities in terms of its track handling to a road course, to a street track. It's tight, not a lot of runoff. You've got very little space either side of the track. The turns are very sharp and sudden. They're all very contained, and the track itself is in quite a small area. The biggest space is actually behind the final chicane, Jackie X, and off towards Talaman, down towards the back corner. So there's a big bulge there, but the rest of it is this really contained track. Cars now getting out to the grid as we get ready to go. In fact, you'll see the track running down there behind pit road. That's how contained this track is. You see the grid? You see they're straight behind it. Yeah, it's this confined, but Belgium hasn't got a huge amount of space for racetracks. We're going to get ourselves ready to rock here. Almost a go-karty feel, especially with the Skip Barber cars. Last cars coming out now to the grid, looking for 3rd place still. Simon Edwards now on that grid. We should see the cars getting ready to rock and roll in just a few seconds' time. We're ready for 14 laps of high-intensity action around Circuit Park Zolder. Belgium, not Netherlands. I always get all mixed up. This is the same place as Spa. Need to remember that. First corner, a big wide left into a wide right. So it's Erst into Sternwag, and then Kanal. Then it's Lucien Bianchi down straight towards the first chicane. And just revving here again. Green flag flies, races go. Great start by Lee Hughes. He has the inside line, which is a huge benefit, Ryan, here into the first corner. Will go his way, he slots in front there, of Benny Simonson. As Benny looks at the inside already, Benny's not taking over an answer. Straight up the inside for Benny Simonson there, dives it in, will not fully clear him, but does before the turning point for the second corner. Sternbach and Benny already leads straight before the slice of the bit on the outside. It's coming back now. Leah Hughes has an answer.
Yeah, that was it.
3 wide.
On the exit.
We're 3 wide already, Ryan. This is incredible. Coming towards the first chicane. 2 wide, 2 deep now. There is no safe way out of this one, so they're going to have to be very conscientious here. Well, there's going to be a collision before the field. I'd be surprised if there's not a collision somewhere in the field for this one. Already, cars running wide though. No collisions just yet. Everyone coming through here. So much respect for that corner. It's one of the hardest on the track, and they all make it through down the field now. As Leah Hughes ahead here. Simon Edwards, Benny Simpson side by side there with Anthony Cat. Really high octane racing right now behind them. Anthony PM Jones has moved up there. Ahead of Tom Bridle, so has Nicholas Jordan Roberts. And this is absolutely breathtaking racing. We've not had a chance to stop and think, because also coming through now, Lee Anderson working here on Tom Bridle as they come towards one of the corners. This one's Boulderberg. Hairpin here. Coming around now, it'll be moved by Benny here at the front. He runs to the inside as they're approaching Jackie Hicks. Should not be able to pass Lee Hughes here, but he will be back in line behind him, and the front two pulled a huge gap there. This one is absolutely intense. We've got some 2 wide just behind them, involving, I believe, Ben Evans in that group there. He is, in fact, Ben Evans goes wide. Bit of a slide there from him. Regains his track position. Will still be in that spot. Is up the front. Ryan, it's just not calmed down.
No, Leah Hughes is still leading, but Simon Hughes made a decent start off in second place, and the person that lost out in lap 1 rather was Benny Simpson.
Yeah, absolutely. Benny Simpson definitely lost out in this one. Oh, there goes the right one wide. That's gravel. Must have stepped to the banana there. He's just gone really wide there. Now, regains his position right behind Clark Williamson. Down much more. He was one of the cars I just mentioned going wide ahead there of Lee Anderson. We'll see what happened to him, but he was running wide there onto the gravel. A few of the PM Jones and 2 PM Jones skids and drifts in front, and he and there you go, bam, into the inside wall. Ford Roberts just could not really hold it as tight there. That was unbelievable by 2 separate drivers.
Yeah, PM Jones got the gravel, but he managed to... Who this was Tom Bridle. Where they are. There was contact between 28 and 6. Yeah, 26 and 886. So Darlin. As Darlin goes around and conquer line there of cars. Everyone's spinning, smoking, flying. Okay, that looked as if it was. Oh, the car goes off and hits him again. Oh gosh, that was not nice. It's a horrible corner. Yeah, it's one of the you want to try and maximise the entry and try and keep it clean, and then try and carry speed in the exit as they through second speed now and still fantastic racing between these 4. That's the 5 cars rather.
It absolutely is. Looking back here actually at Christopher Keeble. I seem to have the camera that appears on every single crashing car. When it does, the 9 goes around there. Martin Booker contact the build-up yet again as people from behind, exactly the same mirror of the last incident, 87, goes back for miles. Round he goes, and it's a Conga fest of cars bumping into each other. Oh my gosh, that was like 6 or 7 cars, and it's like all hitting each other. The first car in that group to get through unscathed. She just gains like 6 places out of that whole thing.
Yeah, that was it. That was absolutely crazy, that incident, and it seems to be too hard too early, but yes, with Zolder, you kind of want to get by someone as quickly as possible just to have the track position, but at the moment these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars up in front are starting to go away from the rest of the pack, and basically left to them to scrap amongst themselves and battle for the podium positions.
Absolutely is. We've got a retirement here from the 26th of Mark Mandala, and he was in one of those incidents. He lost his motor there coming into the final corners. He's pulled that car down pit road. That's looking like a retirement from him. Up at the front, still Lee Hughes ahead of Simon Edwards, Benny Simpson. So the back of the second and third of the championship is right now heating up. Is the story of the race. I think almost, Brian, Benny is playing safe now, which is an unusual concept for Benny as he looks to the side now. Pico Villeneuve, but Benny knows he's looking at this in the back. He needs to get consistent points. These two are desperate to beat each other. You don't get that would be a new mindset for Benny Simmons, the guy who's always one of those ride or die kind of races who goes for everything he can. A different mindset. This is one of the first few seasons we've really seen a decent time here on Simon Edwards. Looks to the inside for Jackie X. Still be the inside line now for Edwards, but they were both with a little bit of time here. Across the back of the cat, looking like the outside now of Benny. As Benny is trying to run alongside here. As Cross moves, oh, and as all cuts, goes for the undercut. Yeah, goes for a big undercut, slides it round, contact! Oh my gosh! Round and out goes Simon Edwards. That's gonna mean we don't get an interview this week from him as Benny kind of chucked it in there. Tokyo Driftu into the corner, back end stepped out, and just the two cars come together. Look at the replay now, as you see from above. Benny's behind him. He takes his rightful spot on the outside. Benny looks up the inside, comes in, gets kind of sideways here, Ryan, and tap, nearly seeing a flipping Simon Edwards.
Yeah, I was saying as well, Benny Simpson's surprisingly playing the Porsche spots, but he just, yeah, kind of, not kind of, but just, he must have been listening to me, just decided to change his mind, but it's unfortunate that incident between him and Edwards. I think Benny was just happy with the loss from the end on the entry for 1-1.
Absolutely. Well, now front end of this field we're going to use anti-Cat, anti-PM Jones. So it's definitely going to be a very different race format than we thought it was going to be, especially now second could be so valuable in the championship, and it's looking at who's gets a free runway points set here from the rest of the field. Yes, second or two here on Simon Edwards, Cat, which is a massive advantage on that 5 and 14. Might they catch up? Possibly, but he's been looking a lot faster so far than those two as behind them. Benny is regaining, so he's going to be rejoining this group. Whether we'll get past them as quickly as he likes, we don't know. But it's shaking up the whole outlook of this race right now. I'm going to be excited to see exactly what those guys said after this race. Whether we'll hear from that or not isn't the matter. Looking down the hill now towards Stephen now. Let's make out the river. Now, I should say, back. Seconds last time by for Lee Hughes, and a little bit further back, Willie Anderson running solo, Clark Williams running in a 3-car train here with Tom Bridle and Adam Miles all pretty spaced, just cruising. We've got Baranowski just behind him. Simon Maltby is tussling right now with the guys behind him, Seth Brown and Simon Edwards fighting hard. Edwards trying to fight back here, trying to make his way back up the field.
Yeah, he just needs to be sensible and not do anything silly though. I can understand he wants to try and get back through the field as quickly as possible, but around Zolder if you make a silly move, but he'll end up in disaster like we saw with Benny Simpson and Simon Edwards, so that might be in the back of everyone's mind.
Yeah, absolutely might be. Looking here at the 33 RaceSpotTV's own Paul Smith. He's live streaming the start of this race, but right now Paul has absolutely pulled a blinder. 37th up to 18th right now, and he's working on Steve Hefford there. Up the inside, and Villeneuve cuts cleanly through. Thank you very much. Nice move there by Paul Smith. That was very cleanly executed, Ryan, and off he goes.
Yeah, that was a nice move by Paul. He didn't try and force the issue. He went up the inside, but he didn't overrun the corner and managed to make it through. Up to 17th after starting 37, so a great run from Paul, and he's always known for wanting to start at the back and give himself a challenge, and at the moment he's succeeding in that challenge.
Absolutely, exactly that. And him and Hefford have both come quite a way. 31st for Hefford to 18th now, and it's 37th to 17th, up 20 places for Paul Smith. That is monstrous, as we have a car running off there to head to pit road. Edwards now working his way through this train of cars. He's coming towards Maltby now, just ahead of him. This will be for 10th place here, getting him back in the top 10. It's definitely going to cost him in terms of the points he can gain over Leah Hughes. Leah, of course, running clean out front. He's coming up to Jackie X now to complete. No, he's coming, sorry, up to Kleiner. The track circled around a little bit there. Coming up through Kleiner now, heading down towards Sacraments and towards Villeneuve. And that lead is looking pretty solid. It hasn't really changed. Cat and PM Jones just haven't closed up anymore.
Simon Edwards up inside of Simon Maltby and as up into 10th position now, so Edwards is slowly gaining back positions through the field, and yeah, I think the best that Edwards can hope for now is probably a top 6 or top 7 result.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely likely. Benny here, though, he wants to come back to front. He's working on PM Jones and Cat here, and he should have a good shot at this as they come out of mix. This will take him onto the front straight, where he has a great drafting opportunity up towards Erst. And this could be a huge one for Benny, so he has to set this move up through Jackie X now. Get himself some good speed, a good head of speed, lets him tuck it in a little tighter. Make that move here on PM Jones at least. We'll see if he can get it done.
Right on board with Benny Simpson heading down to Stonewall, but try and make the move up the inside of PM Jones. He's going for it, he throws up inside, can he keep him going to the rear end and not end up in disaster like what happened last time? Yes, he can.
Nicely executed there by Benny. PM Jones gave him a wide berth knowing he was there on the inside. Knew the move was going to happen, so he couldn't accommodate it, knowing he was going to have a chance to follow him back through here, possibly get a spot on Cat. Is that the next target Benny Simpson looking for, of course. We'll see what he can do if he can get past Cat, of course, because Cat's been a very fast driver in his own right, Ryan. He could actually manage to hold that spot. Maybe it's slightly difficult, giving Leah Hughes an even bigger gap. Looking back through your field, though, a lot of change, of course. We've had quite a few incidents rocking on so far. A lot of drivers here running in solos or spread out 2s and 3s. And we've had Paul Smith we looked at a little bit earlier. Keeble's grouping with John Edwards and Seymour Harding has opened up a bit more now. Seymour Harding though gaining on John Edwards. As Baranowski now, he's one to take a look at here. He's running right behind Simon Edwards, who just got past him. So Edwards clawing his way back here. That'll be him into 9th place already.
Yeah, a great recovery at the moment, up into 9th place now, and yeah, I think the other cars in front of her are maybe too far ahead. But Simon Edwards will probably finish around about in 9th position, but still a good recovery, still points for the championship, but not where you want to be.
Not at all now, and Benny Simpson off screen has just taken 2nd place off Anthony Cat. He's now running back up in 2nd place, so exactly where he started this race. And wow, he has got quite a way to go, because that gap is about 1.5 seconds right now to Leah Hughes, and that is going to be a mountain to climb, especially.
It is, and especially around Zolder, the draft can help a little bit, especially when you're in the packs like this at the moment. And Benny Simpson, even though he's in front of Katz and PM Jones, that draft probably means that he can't get away as easily as he would like to, but up just ahead of them they've got quite a lot of Leah Hughes, but he's got basically a decent gap that he can maintain.
Yeah, he's outside that draft window. 1.5 seconds is far enough outside the window. He doesn't have to be too worried about the draft having an impact. As long as he can keep his lap times up, and based on Benny's last lap time, 45.5, Leah Hughes 46 dead. So half a second fast last time. That was the draft effect definitely helping Benny there. We'll have to see what happens this time by for this lap, where he's been ahead the whole time. That will be our true indicator of Benny's real pace so far on a one-on-one lap here. We will get a small boost from the cars behind him pushing him, but it will be a lot more indicative of what he can do. Tom Bryant, which is behind this group here, is ahead of Miles and Williams. Those guys in 6th, 7th and 8th. Simon Edwards is behind them, but he's a good 5-6 seconds back here, Brian. That is looking like insurmountable, but we could see Adam Miles making a move on Tom Bridle this time as they go towards or out of X.
Yep, as they're coming to the hairpin now, and Bridle's under attack from Miles, but also behind they've got Clark Williams as well. Clark Williams, a decent driver in the league, and I've had some good races with him in the past when I raced before, and he's always a clean driver, respectful driver, and having a good race at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely are, of course, and keep an eye on him as they come here after Jackie Hicks. Could have been opportunity for Miles. The gap looks a little bit big here, like he didn't quite get the speed out the corner he would have wanted. Just up ahead of him, you can see Lee Anderson running quietly on his own there, quite happy with that 5th position he's going to probably keep hold of in this race. There's no change amongst that group. Benny's last lap was not actually, because whoa, okay, I didn't see what happened to Benny there, but we lost Benny from 2nd place. There's been a complete change around in order there. We were looking at the groups behind him when this happened. I'm going to take a look back and see exactly where this took place, but Benny must have moved somewhere, because that's not, you don't lose 2 spots in one lap without him being problem here. Oh, I think we had a corner cut. He gave the position up to the game, he gave the corner to them. He cut a corner somewhere, got a slow down penalty, which cost him that spot. He's back up again to 3rd place, but he lost that 2nd, and the gap has only widened between Cat and Hughes, 1.7 now, so this is looking more and more like Hughes' race to lose is 1 lap 10.
It is, and like I say, he's maintaining that gap, and basically a battle for 2nd and 3rd place between Cat, Ian Jones and Simonson, and I was looking at the replay as well to see what happened to Simonson, and it looked like he indeed Raceway got a slowdown after cutting too much of one of the chicanes, but as they come up to the final corner, and Cat and Simonson are all inside each other, with Ian Jones looking to get in the mix.
Yeah, they certainly are, and the race has definitely got a lot of tempo to it this time. This track never disappoints. Zolder, one of those tracks that always produces great racing. A little bit further back, the cars are still kind of running in those small spread groups as Keeble here, he's dropped a spot there to Harding, who's gotten past him here. Fought through Harding just up ahead there as they're coming up towards Jackie. Do look at opportunity here. How he exits the corner. This could be a big shot, but I think it was a bit slower than he would have liked. The gap broadening there as it comes out the corner rather than closing, leaving you well outside that window. You really want to be on the back wing there, Ryan, of the car in front to get any sort of drag effect. Yeah,
you do. You want to be really close to them and try and take advantage if they make a mistake, but at the moment Keeble just looks like he's not close enough, and he got a bit wrong in the final chicane, but he kind of lost him momentum, but through this fast right hander heading up to the first chicane, he should be able to possibly try and get close to them, or try and even make a move.
Yeah, absolutely, as they're going to filter through now. We had a little bit of wobble earlier. PM Jones, who clipped the first minor chicane sideways, has dropped back from Cat and Simonson here, but still very much in that front group. The gap so much bigger now, 2.1 seconds. All this passing has really cost those guys. Lee Hughes just lapping those fast laps. But it's 1:45.9 there, and it's 1:45.9 from Lee Hughes, 1:45.955, and a 9:27 from Benny. They're identical, basically. Those lap times are so close, it's unbelievable.
Yeah, they're so close on pace, and basically it looks like they're pushing every lap and every corner, just trying to stretch that gap and try and get away from each other and find that extra few tenths, but at the moment they can't really do anything about it, because they're basically all stuck together, and because of the draft effect they can't really make a move.
Yeah, absolutely, that effect is so big here. As look back to where Paul Smith is still running 17th, but he's coming up on Seth Brown now. He's over 16th place just ahead of him. There's a group of cars including Keeble and Harding just ahead of him now, so top 15 isn't out of the picture so far. He's got 4 laps to do it here, Ryan. Should we see Paul Smith take half the field of the race?
It's a good possibility. I mean, Paul's always had good results starting from the back, and he's always been one of those hard charger drivers, as I like to call him. He's always makes a move when he gets a chance in game positions, and I don't think it's out of reach getting into the top 16.
Absolutely agree with you there, Ryan, as keep an eye on the leaders. Gap back down to 1.4. Hughes has been caught up by half a second. We could be looking at a fight in those closing laps now. with going to be the rest of lap 12 here, 13, 14 to go. It's going to be really close here, I think. We're looking at 2 to go after this lap finishes. 1.4 seconds, can that be beat?
It's tough, but I think Leo Hughes is got it in hand. He's just controlling that gap, controlling the pace, and he's not over-driving. By the looks of it, he's just being nice and smooth and not doing anything too shallow.
Yeah, looks more than possible, but it's going to be a tough mountain to climb there. Todd Williams, Tom Bridle, and Miles there still running. It's going to be still Miles and Williams closer than Bridle, who's made a bit of a break in front there. Simon Edwards is catching up, but again, he's just about 4 seconds back. He's made up 2. Big drive from him there after that incident he had earlier with Benny Simpson, but not likely to catch up really for anything meaningful. 9th will be what he has to settle with here, and he has to look at his competitor for 2nd of the championship. Widening that gap slightly by a 1/10 of a second over Benny Simpson, now 1.5 with basically just 2 laps to go. Unless he screws up here, this is his to lose, and I don't know what comment with his curse on him, but it's looking favourable right now for Leo Hughes, the Welsh driver, currently riding in that #1 spot. Further back, we've got a big pile of cars running down here around David Dowson, along with Christopher Kane, Nick Howard, Peter Parnell, and Ray Peasley in that grouping. All on top of each other. Looking at some passing down here. This is around 23rd, 24th place. Biggest race much on the track.
Yeah, and this one, looks like they're on the inside, and I thought it was going to be a bit of contact, but luckily they managed to make it through turn 1 and not do an Edwards and Simonson incident.
Yeah, that would be Peter Cowan there. Way past that of Dave Dowson. Club 100 entry, of course. Looking as good as ever. That livery's been around for the entirety of iRacing as far as I know. As has that team. Biggest grouping here though, 5 cars back to back to back. Coming down towards Kleiner. See, the problem with Kleiner I think here is, Ryan, that it's so tight, but it's not a narrow chicane, it's not a flick. It's just long enough that it's more difficult to exit because it makes 2-second corners rather than a hop through.
It is, and I've watched a few cars going through there as well, and the right side there when they exit and take on the road to watch the car bounce is crazy, as it looks like we are into the final lap as well.
We are indeed. Leo Hughes with a 1.2 second gap over Benny Simonson in 2nd place after his recovery from the collision with Simon Edwards. And it's just him and Cat running back to back as he watches the Welsh driver ahead of him just in the absolute clear here. It's been a flawless run. Leo Hughes put it on pole to start this race. Clearly a track he's had absolutely tremendous success with so far. Monster hitting on that curb, and oh my gosh, Benny just jumped sideways across that sausage curb. 3 of those guys hit that curb on the outside there of Kleiner. But Benny seemed to go sideways through the air before landing and just correcting that thing like it was a rallycross car. Oh my gosh. Not going to be enough though, as PM Jones catches it back up to the rear of those 2 now. It's going to be looking like Leo Hughes has 2 corners to go now. And this will be his round number 10 of Monday Night Skippys. And Leo Hughes has 2 corners left to put in the bag. 1 corner now, Jackie Hicks. 1.2 seconds behind him to those drivers, and he is looking the cleanest getaway of a race this season here for Leo Hughes, clearly stamping his intent for that 2nd place position in the championship. He's like, Benny, you might be in 2nd right now. I know you're winning the championship, but I'm right behind your heels. As he comes across the line, or we're heading towards the line here, with a bit of a victory weave down the front straight, and over the stripe he goes. Leo Hughes wins round number 10, with Benny Simonson in 2nd, Anthony Cat 3rd, and PM Jones in 4th. Lee Anderson comes through for a very quiet 5th place, having seen basically nobody the entire race. 6 seconds behind PM Jones, and a whopping 5 ahead of Tom Bridle, who will clear Miles and Williams there. Edwards can only make 9th place at the end after the incident with Andrew Baranowski, now finally wrapping up the top 10, coming across the line. Ryan, that was a fantastic race. Always impressive.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that race, and it was actually, it wasn't as chaotic as I thought it would be, but nevertheless racing at the front and in the mid part was exciting to watch, and yeah, and we got a well-deserved winner with Leo Hughes pretty much in command for most of that race.
absolutely was a fantastic run indeed, as even Wilson and Cowan's group has spread out a bit towards the end here. They'll be trickling across the line now. A very, very busy race here at Zolder. This track is a short lap, a very, very short lap, although it's 4 kilometers somehow, which is just about 2 miles, I think, or in the ballpark. No, 1.5 miles, I think, or something like that. It's quite short. I'm trying to do the math conversion to kilometers to miles in my head, but the track with the go-karty feel really races very well, and it's a very technical track for these guys. With the last of our guys coming across the line here, we're going to go to your post-race results. With the win today, Leah Hughes puts it on pole and takes the victory flag. With Benny Simonson only able to manage second place behind him. He'll still hold the challenge. Anthony Cat comes home in third place on the final step of the podium, and behind them is Anthony PM Jones in fourth, with Lee Anderson in fifth place. Sixth place, Tom Bridle with Adam Miles, Clark Williams, Simon Edwards, and Andrew Baranowski making up your top 10. Simon Maltby, Seymour Harding, Daniel Tufts, Paul Smith in 14th in the end, impressive from him. Christopher Keeble, 15th with John Edwards, Seth Brown, Steve Hefford, Alan Patterson, and Mod Kiko cracking the top 20th there from 25th on the grid. Ryan, this has definitely been a very busy race. I'm exhausted just watching this.
Yeah, that was one of those races that was hard to keep track of what was going on at times, but yeah, I think that's just Zolder in general. There's so much going on that it's just hard to keep up, but the Monday Night Skippy League providing great racing as always, and I think that's why people racing here, because it's just a great community with great respectful racing.
I'd absolutely agree with you. It's one of those places where you really see the best of club racing, really, and the UK's spirit of club racing. It comes out in this series. You see that real kind of camaraderie, you see the rivalries, you see the teamwork, you see the friendships, and I don't know, you just see great racing. Oh gosh, I got a little bit nervous seeing cars smash into the gas pumps there in pit road, getting flashbacks. But I don't think we're going to get Simon Evans to talk to this time, as he might be a little upset after the race today. So we're going to take our opportunity to say goodbye to you guys tonight. I've been Rachel Wyford. I've been joined by Ryan Walker. As always, Hugo Louise doing a fantastic job on the cameras, and recommend you check out, of course, the Calm Zone, where you can see more in our description. Thanks for watching, guys.